Day 4 in Paris. This was the day. In German they say der Tag. In English they say the D-Day. This was the day of the prophecy. And if you don't know what prophecy I'm talking about, you need to go find the first part of this vlog. Okay, I'll leave you a link and watch that Paris vlog part 1 where I give you all the story behind why I was in Paris and what was this prophecy I was trying to fulfill. Stick around, I'll tell you the details of how this came about. Day 4 in Paris. Hello again, this is Sunny and you're watching Sunny Escapades. We are talking about my trip to Paris and this is day 4. We're talking about this was the day because this was 31st of December 2024. This was New Year's Eve and I had a plan to go and watch the celebration at Arc de Triomphe on the Champs-Élysées because that celebration happens at night, obviously. And I had a full day, so I wanted to do some sightseeing in Paris as well, more sightseeing. So I had already decided that I would have to go out twice. I could not just go out even at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock and then stay till midnight. I decided I'll go out once, take in some stuff and then come back and then go again in the evening. So following that, I woke up early, had my breakfast, relaxed and then left about 12:30 noon. And I went to Place du Tartre first because this is in the Montmartre area and Montmartre area is very nice, all of it, but this particular corner, this is like a artist's corner and it's very famous, it's very popular. There are lots of artists around, some caricaturists, some painters, and you will see a lot of great pictures. I don't know how many of these are actually made by these people who are sitting there putting some finishing touches to something, or how many of them are acting, but they do look like real artists, and some of them you can actually see making portraits of actual people sitting there, right there, like tourists sit there and then get some painting made, like a little watercolor thing. And also sometimes you can also get your caricature made, which is also quite fun. I've seen people get them. I've never got them done myself and never would, I think, but I've seen those artists. They're really talented and they're very fast as well, so they can do a caricature like maybe 10-15 minutes. They can do a nice caricature of somebody which looks like them but also with some exaggerated features and kind of funny. So if you are into that kind of thing, sure, you should go for it. One of the things that also you will find in this corner, this little square, well, there are lots of cafes and restaurants also, but like I've told you before, everything in these more touristy places will be slightly more expensive even for Paris, so avoid them if you can. If you have lots of money and don't want to avoid it, yeah, it's a nice place to go sit down, watch the crowd and eat and drink, enjoy yourself. But there's one corner of this square which has some steps going down. It's like 100,000 steps going down, a lot of steps. But at the top of these steps, you can get a nice panoramic view as well. And as you keep going down, you'll keep getting that view, but just slightly lower. But this is really good for pictures of, like a Paris cityscape kind of thing. Pretty big, pretty nice. If the day is good, which for me, the day was good. It was cloudy, but not raining. So that's perfect for taking good pictures. Okay. So from there, I walked to Pont des Arts. Pont des Arts is the Bridge of Arts. This is the famous bridge where people used to put all those locks with their boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife's name with their name and putting the lock on the grill, on the railing of the bridge. Kind of crazy if you ask me, but well, people do crazy stuff, so yeah, don't go by me. This was about an hour from Montmartre, so if you're planning to do the same walk, just beware that it's not very quick, it's not very short. And if you're going from Montmartre, then it does involve going down a lot of steps. Okay, so yeah, I was getting sick of the steps, I've told you before, but this was actually at least going down. So I did this deliberately because Paris is a very walkable city. Other than the Montmartre area, it's pretty nice and flat other than that. And you can always get nice things to see on the way as well, other than the Paris atmosphere, which is absolutely great. And I think it was on this day that I went to the Galerie Vivienne, which is a famous gallery. It's very, very beautiful, very ornate, and with the lights on there and the decorations, it was really pretty. And I just happened to walk by it. I saw that it looked pretty, went in, and then I said, oh right, this is Galerie Vivienne. So it is one of the famous things that you can check it out, and it's got lots of designer shops and stuff. I don't have that kind of money, so I did not try to go in there, but I did take some nice pictures and video clips around there, which was perfect. And then walked all the way to Pont des Arts. I walked through the Louvre. Everywhere there's like roadworks and maintenance work going on, so even near the Louvre there was some stuff that was blocked off. But so went to Pont des Arts. I like that bridge a lot. It's one of my favorite bridges because it's a pedestrian bridge. It's a wooden bridge, other than lots of bridges they're like huge metal and concrete kind of things, whereas this one is a very short bridge and it's a wooden bridge with just pedestrians, and the atmosphere is really nice. But you would find it nicer in the evening, so if you can go there at like sunset time, golden hour, it's really great. In the daytime also it was alright, but it was a cold weather this time in Paris, so I did not hang around as much as I had done before on that bridge. So that was done. So I was thinking, like, can I go to Musée d'Orsay? Musée d'Orsay is a slightly lesser known museum than Louvre. Louvre is very, very famous, very well known. Musée d'Orsay is about half a mile down the road from there, and it's called MO also. But it's one of the, I think it's worth visiting even more than Louvre. I've never been to Louvre yet, but I like the Musée d'Orsay. It's got lots of paintings by the Impressionists, and I love the Impressionists because of what they represent, going away from the the beaten path. They did their own thing. They were made fun of in the beginning, and then the thing just exploded and became such a phenomenon. So I do like all that, and there were some amazing pictures the last time I went there, some amazing paintings. This time I checked online, and nope, it was all booked out for about next 4 or 5 days, and I was going back after a couple of days, so there was no point that I could go. But I had not expected that I would be able to visit that this time anyway, because this is like New Year's time, so everybody and their brother is in Paris. So I came back from there, took the metro on the way. I didn't want to walk all the way 1 hour. And one of the best things about the Montmartre area is that there are so many shops and restaurants and creperies and boulangeries, so you can always get some food there at any time of day or night. I've not tried like very, very late at night, but normal late at night, yes, you can. So I came back in the afternoon, and there was a creperie right across the road from my hotel, like a light tiny street, and just right in front of the hotel. And I had seen that many times because it was right across the hotel, across the road. This time was the first time when I went in there, and I think this was the time when that happened, that I tried to open the door, could not open it, and somebody from inside signaled that okay, you have to press it down further, to press the handle down, and I came in, all right, yeah, cool. So yeah, this time I found some more sociable, more agreeable, more nicer people in Paris as well, both locals and tourists. So yeah, I sat down and I had a chocolate and almond crepe. I like crepes. Crepes are really nice. They are very similar to a dessert that we make in India as well. So both savory and sweet. So don't know, maybe different recipe, I don't know, but it tastes about the same. So yeah, that was really nice. And then I went back to my hotel and took a little nap so that I would be ready for the evening, what we call a disco nap. And then in the evening, I left the hotel about 8:15 after getting ready, everything charged, all my phone, my camera, everything charged and ready, and packed my little Mantis Pod Pro, which is like a little fancy tripod, little tripod and handle, so it can do many different shapes, and it can be used in many different situations to hold my Osmo Pocket 3. So I called a Bolt, a taxi, at this time because I thought I could just get there faster, and it was a huge mistake. I'll tell you why. In the morning, I had asked my hotel reception guy, there were two guys at the reception, I had asked their advice as to what should I do, how do I go to Champs-Élysées, because the road in front of the Arc de Triomphe is the Champs-Élysées, and why am I going to Arc de Triomphe rather than the Eiffel Tower? The reason for that is that at the Arc de Triomphe they have a little show, and they use the big arc as a projector screen, and they do some projections there, like it's the whole celebration, fireworks are there. Whereas at the Eiffel Tower, it's just that they have a dance of the lights on the Eiffel Tower at midnight. So I wanted to go to the actual show. So I had asked the hotel guys, and the guys said that it's going to be very, very crowded. It's going to be about 1 million people. Yes, about 1 million people there. And the road itself will be closed for all traffic. Maybe around in the afternoon itself they will close it, and then the celebration will be there, but it will be very crowded. Said, okay, so because I knew that the road will be crowded, and I knew exactly what point the road starts. The place is called Luxor Obelisk, or it's also called Place de la Concorde, because there are a couple of water fountains at each side of that little place, little island in the middle of the road, and there's a huge pole which is called Luxor Obelisk. It has a history of its own. It's like a couple of thousand years old. It is a gift from a temple in Luxor, and when they brought it in, they had to build purpose-built ships to carry that, like a ship which is built more like longer than 3 ships together. So it's pretty awesome. So you should see that when you go to Paris. But I knew that this is where the Champs-Élysées starts, right outside the Jardin des Tuileries, and up to that point the traffic would be on, I thought, and it was. So I was right about that. The only thing I was wrong about was that the taxi would be a faster, more convenient way to get there. No. On this day, it was not just Champs-Élysées, the whole Paris was very, very busy. It took me about 45 minutes to get to there, which was about like 10-12 minutes of journey by taxi, okay? And the hard part was, I was dressed for winter with jacket and a scarf and everything, because I was going to be outside for a couple of hours at least, 4 or 5 hours. But the taxi was warm, and it was nauseating. I almost I was feeling like I wanted to puke. I had to open the window a few times to just get some fresh air. It was that bad. The taxi did pass right next to the Eiffel Tower, so I got to take a couple of very, very bad, running and shooting kind of pictures. But I did take a couple of pictures and video clips of the Eiffel Tower on the way. But the taxi was not a good idea at all. So if you are going to Champs-Élysées on this kind of situation, please don't take a taxi. Just go by the metro, or you might be walking. So for me, I knew that from Montmartre it was about an hour's walk, because this is how I had decided where to get my hotel so that I could walk. Because I knew later at night, when everybody was coming back after watching the fireworks and the show, it would be very, very crowded on the metro. I had some experience in London on New Year's Eve a few years ago. So this is what I had asked my reception guys as well. And they said, metro would keep running all night, and metro would be free tonight. So that's good. So they just said just don't take the metro from that particular stop, but if you walk a little bit, you can get the metro. It'll be okay. So okay, cool. So I got to the Champs-Élysées, and oh my god, it was so bloody crowded. I knew it was crowded, but it was just, I did not expect that it would be this crowded. So I joined the crowd, and it looked like I was about a couple of miles away from the actual arc, and I could not even see the arc from where I was. So, in the daytime you can see, to be fair, and this is a really, really nice walk. If you go from the Louvre, go through the Jardin des Tuileries, go through this Luxor Obelisk, and walk the whole length of the Champs-Élysées, and the whole time you can see the arc in front of you. It's really beautiful for a walk, and it's really legendary for pictures. Okay, so you can try that. But at this time, I could not even see the arc. So I just joined the crowd, and I'm like, okay, my god, what am I gonna do? Do I just go back? Because there's no point standing here. And then I realized after 2 minutes that the crowd moved to the forward direction. It's like, okay, something is happening. Then I stayed there, and I used my little selfie stick Mantis Pod to see if I can see anything out in front of me. No, it was still too much crowd. But then 2 minutes later, it moved again a little bit. Okay, I said, all right. So I'm not really a patient person, but this time because I knew I was in for and I could see what was happening here, I was uncharacteristically patient. Okay, so I stayed, and then every minute or so the thing moved. Honestly, I did not even know what was going to happen in a few minutes, because at this rate we would get to the arc maybe tomorrow midnight, not tonight. Okay, but still I kept walking. Ultimately, I found in about maybe 15-20 minutes that it was the crowd for the security check. They had a security checkpoint there. They were French cops who were checking everybody's jacket pockets and backpacks and everything. Like, okay, cool. So because there were only a few cops at a checkpoint and there's a limit to how fast you can go, even though they were going pretty fast, it was taking some time. But now that I knew that this is a checkpoint, this is not the actual crowd moving, I was okay. So I went to the checkpoint, and I could see as we got closer and closer, I could see what they were doing, what they were looking for. So I just took my backpack off my back, opened the pockets already in anticipation. I had my jacket already, so I opened the zipper of the jacket as well, so that I could show them the inside pocket and everything very quickly. So it took less than 30 seconds. They did not speak any English, but what they wanted was pretty clear. So I just showed them, yeah. So I think there was something in my hand that they wanted to see. They checked the wallet in my pocket, stuff like that. It was fast, and they were very polite. Given the job they had, given the situation they were nice and polite. I have to give it to them. So got in, and the road is all free now. Now we can walk. Now it's like proper walking. So walked and then took some pictures and took some videos. There were some screens, like large TV screens on some poles, not on pole, on top of some trucks, I think. And they had a variety program going on, so you could see the program, you could see some speeches, you could see some dance and song going on. So it was pretty cool. And then I ran into another checkpoint. This time I knew it was a checkpoint. You could see it from the distance as well. Not in the distance. I actually had to use the stick and raise it above my head, and I could see, okay, this is what's happening. And then this time again, it took less time to get to the checkpoint and less time to go through the checkpoint also. Again, this time, this was the second one, this was the last one. So again, we had the road in front of us. Then I just kept walking, looking at those screens, the songs. Then there were some people making jokes on the screens. Some people were laughing who understood them. I did not. So I just kept walking, and I could go through that crowd for quite a while, sometimes on the footpath. And in my naivete, in my stupidity, I was thinking that Champs-Elysees would have all these restaurants and the bars and stuff. No, everything was closed down at this time. Everything was crazy. The crowd was absolutely crazy. It was not possible to have those shops open. But yeah, I had not thought about that. People had their beers and stuff. I don't need any beer, so I was okay. But people had their beer or whatever they wanted already. But I kept walking through the crowd, and it was a very nice crowd. They let me go through. Ultimately, I got to a point where I could not go through the crowd. It was too tight, too thick. So, okay, this is where I'm going to pitch my tent. Figuratively, I didn't pitch anything. I just planted my feet there and stood there. And even though it was extremely crowded, like a million people there, definitely a million people there, it was still not like a suffocating crowd. I'm used to crowds in India, and when I say used to, I mean I have suffered them. I am very, very afraid of them. I don't go in them when I can avoid. But this was okay. This was like I had a space in front of me. I could breathe. I had my camera space in front of me, and there was nobody bumping into me. Like, obviously people were walking and all that. It was not very stable, but still it was all right. Okay, there was a young couple next to me. So the girl spoke English. The guy didn't speak much English, but they were the only ones who talked to me a couple of times during this whole time. So by the time I got there, it was something around 11:20. Okay, 11:20 p.m. And those last 40 minutes, I just had to wait. There was nothing else to do. So I did some footage of the crowd as well, and you can see how crazy that crowd was. They were people as far as the eye could see, in front, in the back as well. On the sides, you couldn't see the shops, but because that's a road. But it was so crowded. Like I said, it was a well-behaved crowd. Nobody pushing or nobody punching anybody. Nobody making any noises. Nobody screaming football slogans or singing loudly. Nothing like that. And there were some songs on the screen. Sometimes people sang along as well. It was an atmosphere. I'll tell you that. It was an atmosphere. It was something you should experience once in your life. It was absolutely amazing. Okay, so when I opened my camera, I pushed it up. It fell forward towards my face because I had forgot to lock it in, and the people near me laughed, which was like, yeah, cool. Okay, so that was a good icebreaker, you could say. So the girl talked to me. I don't remember what she said, but we just had like a little chat here and there. Other than that, they had their own life. They were talking among themselves. I had my camera to focus on the front. It was hard to take the footage because so many people, and I had to raise the stick as high as I could. And then the actual show started. The show means the actual countdown, and they do the countdown on the arc itself using a projector. So it went 9, 8, and the crowd, you can feel the excitement. You can feel the like bubbling excitement in the crowd as the seconds are being counted down on the screen. 7, 6, and people are like counting together. People are making a noise, somebody's whistling, and then it went to 0, and then the fireworks right on the split second, and people went so crazy. Somebody was whistling so much, and then there's the whole shouts of Bonne année, Bonne année. Bonne année means New Year, Happy New Year in French. So that was like absolutely mind-blowing. Okay, so I was so glad. Last year, when the 2024 had arrived, I was in my living room on my computer chair in Oxford and just doing something which I don't even remember now. I was just by myself. Nobody was wishing me. I didn't wish anybody. And this time I was in the middle of 1 million people. When the fireworks were going off, you could see like a few thousand, like thousands and thousands of phones in front of you. And I'm saying thousands, not million, because I'm sure there were about 500,000 people behind me as well. But oh my god, you have never seen so many screens lit up at the same time. I'm telling you, even in London when I was there, I did not see anything close to this, because this was like one spot, one place, one point of gathering where everybody was there. And because everybody had their phones up in the air, and there were so many people in front of me and so many people ahead of me, and some of them were taller than me, I actually had to use my phone. So this is one of the great features of Osmo Pocket 3, is that you can connect it to the phone, and then you can watch whatever is on the camera viewfinder. So the camera can see, you can see on the screen. So I just raised my hand as high as I could. Then I could not see the Osmo Pocket screen, but I could see what it was seeing on my phone, and I could also control the angle of the camera from that app. So I could place it as perfectly as I wanted while holding it up with my hand. And because my phone screen is much bigger than the Osmo Pocket screen, I had a pretty good view of the whole thing, of the projection and the fireworks as well. The girl on my left, she actually noticed it, and she said, "Oh, you have a nicer view than out there." So I just laughed, and yeah, so I did have that. But I was, getting tired. It was going on for a long time, and I was getting tired. I had to hold my hand with the other hand to keep the camera steady. The fireworks went on for about 10-15 minutes, not very long. By about midnight, it was all done. So then everybody started, retreating. And considering how many people were there and how everybody was going in the same direction, it was a remarkably well-behaved crowd. I did not see anybody fall. I did not see anybody scream. No sounds of distress. Just everybody walking peacefully, talking to their friends or just talking to themselves, and just walking towards the metro stations. Okay, so I just walked. And it's a long road. You don't realize how long that road is until you have to walk all of it. I had done my research and I knew where I was going, so I had my Google Maps out, and I was going to a station called Saint Lazare. Saint Lazare is 2 stops away from this Luxor obelisk place. Okay, so I walked back to Luxor obelisk and then I took a left turn and went towards Saint Lazare. It was a lot of walking, but it was like a cool night, not very cold but also not warm at all, and I was dressed for the weather, so it was okay. And I got to Saint Lazare. Inside the station also there was a lot of walking because it's a big station, but the good thing was that when I got to the platform, it was not very crowded. The next train arrived, which was within 2 minutes. It was also not very crowded. There were people on it, obviously, but I got easy space for standing. So that was pretty cool. I really liked that part. And also I did not have to worry about pickpockets and stuff like that because it was not that crowded like Rome. And I got back to the hotel about 1:30 without any issues. I had been worried, like, will it be safe to walk that late at night in Paris? The roads might be dark. They were not dark. There were lots of decorations. There were lots of people walking around as well. So it was very safe. No discomfort, no concerns at all as I was walking. I was just a little bit exhausted, not fully exhausted, but a little bit tired and very hungry, very thirsty, and also quite sweaty from all the walk. But yeah, very happy. I had some biscuits in my room. I just had those biscuits. I had not had proper dinner tonight, but yeah, it was that kind of an evening. I went to bed about 3 o'clock that night, going to bed in like 2025 this time. And the next day I knew was going to be my last full day in Paris, so don't miss that. Please subscribe so that you don't miss the next video. That day was also interesting because I got to some really nice spots in Paris for my full day, and then you would want to see that story. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you do subscribe so that you keep watching these videos, and I will keep giving you more stories like this. Until then, I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye bye.